You can get the meeting started. Julie, you can get the meeting started now.
Oh, okay. All right, great. The Finance and Administration Committee meeting will be conducted in person and on Zoom. In order for the public to participate, the public can participate remotely. So I'll call the meeting to order and we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, and I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great. Can we get a roll call?
Yes, you can. Director Hernandez.
Present.
Vice Chair Kick is absent. Chair Testa.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Let's see, members of the audience can participate on any matter within the general subject matter of the LAVTA Board of Directors. Members of the audience may address the committee on the agenda items. Do we have any members of the community that would like to speak?
So we did not get anything via email for this meeting from the public. There are no attendees in this meeting currently, and there's nobody here in person to speak.
Okay, then we'll move on to item number 4, approving the minutes from the August 22nd, 23rd meeting of the Finance and Administration Committee.
I will go ahead and move the meetings for August 22nd for the F&A committee.
All right, and I'll second. So we'll need a roll call.
Yes, Director Hernandez. Aye. Vice Chair Kick is absent. Chair Testa.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Great, thank you. Then we'll move on to the Treasurer's Report, item number 5.
Good afternoon. So I'm presenting to you the Treasurer's Report for September of 2023. This reflects everything that was paid through the end of September, plus accruals for our purchase transportation, as those are our largest line items. As the end of September, we were at 22.76% overall on spending. That does reflect a few larger bills that we paid at the beginning of the year, like our liability. We paid it just once a year instead of spreading it over 12 months, that as we receive a discount for doing that. Our revenues at this time are only at 2.8%. That's pretty normal. It takes a little bit of time for the tax-based revenues to start flowing in. However, LAVTA does have significant cash in our bank accounts, so we are not experiencing a cash flow issue due to the lateness of the payments coming in. With that, I will take any questions.
Any questions?
I have no questions.
I have no questions. So can I get a motion to accept the Treasurer's Report?
Sure, I will go ahead and take staff recommendation for the Finance and Administration Committee to go to the full board.
Okay, and I'll second that. And do we have any public joining us yet?
No, we don't. And there was nobody here for the last item as well.
Okay. All right, then can I get a roll call vote, please?
Of course, Director Hernandez.
Aye.
Vice Chair Kick's absent. Chair Testa.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Then we can move on to item number 6, Tri-Valley Accessibility Advisory Committee Bylaws Update.
Good afternoon. This will be me, Country Code Strategy Planner. For this item, staff here is requesting that the Finance Administration Committee forward the recommendation to update section 3.5B of the Tri-Valley Accessible Advisory Committee, or TAC, bylaws to LAVTA Board of Directors. So basically, as far as the background, at the TAC Committee's July meeting, one of the members pointed out that there is a discrepancy between the committee bylaws And actual practice in terms of timeline when the committee chair and vice chair are being elected. According to the committee bylaws, this election should take place at the last meeting of the fiscal year, which is in May for TAC. While in actual practice for many years now, this has been held at the first meeting of the fiscal year in July. And the rationale for the current practice, why it has gone this way, is that the election is at the first meeting of the fiscal year, is that the committee membership terms also start at the beginning of fiscal year and they end at the end of the fiscal year. And this way, time-wise, we can assure that only the board appointed members can be elected as the officials. So the board of directors typically ratifies the appointments in the June meeting, while the last TAC meeting each year is in May before the board meeting. So there's a proposed language in attached bylaws. So it's in section 3.5b, committee officers and their duties. So the current language reads, the chair and vice chair shall be elected at the last meeting of each fiscal year and assume office at the first meeting of the new fiscal year. We are proposing the following: the chair and vice chair shall be elected at the first meeting of each fiscal year and assume office immediately following the election. So the new chair will take over basically right after election. We took this to the TAC at their September meeting and they approved the recommended changes. And hence that is requesting this update to be forwarded to board of directors.
So I have a question really quick. So the TAC needs to be aligned with the the May versus the July election. And because of the fact that, you make just clarification, I'm reading the background on it, but it was done on the fiscal year before. Chrissy, can you, Chrissy?
Yeah, so what's been, so for many years, for as long as when I worked at LAVTA in the past, the TAC elected their chair and vice chair at the July meeting. And then at the May meeting, they make recommendations for committee appointments to the board. The board takes action in June. So the bylaws say the TAC should be electing their leadership at the last meeting of the fiscal year, which is their May meeting, and that is before the board takes action on the new membership. So we wanted to just align the bylaws with the current practice, which I think actually is in sync with the board process where you all elect your leadership at the first meeting of the fiscal year. And so we had no opposition at the TAC when we presented this item. We appreciate TAC member David Weir from MTC being so diligent in pointing this out to staff. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify a little bit better on that.
Yeah.
I have no questions. So do we have any public that would speak on this?
So there are still no attendees in this meeting. I didn't get anything via email and there's nobody here in person.
Okay, great. Then can we get a motion?
I'll go ahead and move to align with the board's recommendation to update the TAC bylaws.
Okay, and I'll second that. So can we get a roll call?
Yes, Director Hernandez.
Aye.
Vice Chair Hicks absent, Chair Testa.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay. Moving right along, then we're moving on to item 7. Approved contract modification number 6 with MV Transportation Incorporated, Inc.
Yes, good afternoon. This is Mike Tobin, Director of Operations. I'll be presenting this item. So for item 7, we are requesting this committee to recommend that the Board of Directors approve contract modification number 6 to the O&M agreement with MV Transportation. And so the crux of this modification is to implement what is called a split shift pay differential. So essentially what this means is that for every shift worked by one of our bus operators with a split in between of 3 hours or more, that operator would be paid $2 extra for every hour worked that day. And so the goal of this is really to improve job satisfaction and ultimately improve operator retention, because as you know, the industry is facing a severe operator shortage. And so if you can imagine you're an operator, right? You drive in from Stockton or Lathrop, you work 3 hours, then you have 3 hours off of non-paid time, then you work 5 hours of paid time. That's a spread of 11 hours, but you're only being paid for 8 hours. So as you can imagine, that's less than ideal. So really to help ameliorate some of that inconvenience, that's why we want to implement the split shift pay differential of $2 per hour. Furthermore, we also wanted to take this opportunity to use this modification to exercise the fourth option of the contract and extend it through fiscal year 2025, so June of 2025. That is my update, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Great, thank you. Any questions?
I'm sorry,
I was just gonna add on, and I don't think you mentioned this, but MV has agreed to split the cost of the pay differential with LAVTA, which I think speaks to our strong partnership.
yes.
So I just wanted to provide that.
And one last note, the fiscal impact. So we are estimating it to cost $80,000 annually. For this year, fiscal year 24, it will cost approximately $53,000, which will be covered under existing budget authority.
So my question would be then, MV is splitting the 80 and then also the 50? Okay.
Yes, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't have any questions. I just have a comment that I think we need to be able to retain the bus drivers that we do have. And so, as you know, there's a shortage, and we've all experienced driving a bus for 10 minutes, and we see how difficult it really is. And but not just that, this is a line that, a lot of people, especially in our area, are either doing tech or doing, working home. And so I really want to retain the valued bus drivers that we do have.
Okay, and I would concur with all of that. So if no other questions, do we have any members of the public that would like to speak?
We still do not have any members of the public, no.
Okay, thank you. Then I would ask for a motion.
I will go ahead and approve the modification for item number 6 with the MV Transportation Incorporation to the operations and maintenance services contract with MV Transportation to the full board.
Okay, and I'll second that. So can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, Director Hernandez.
Aye.
Vice Chair Kick is absent. Chair Testa.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Then, gosh, we're just moving right along. So moving on to item 6, preview upcoming committee agenda items.
I'll take that. God bless you, Melissa.
Thank you.
The next 2 months look pretty light for this committee. It looks like typically your November and December committee meetings are canceled. Lucky you, we are making the Projects and Services Committee meet right after Thanksgiving. And then moving into the new year, we will kick off your first committee meeting with the 2024 legislative program. And that's about all we have solidified right now, but most certainly we will be adding more things to the agenda. And I'm happy to take any questions.
Questions?
I have no questions.
I have no questions. So that's not an action. We don't need to approve that, right?
No.
All right, then we'll move on to matters initiated by committee members. Do we have any matters initiated?
I have none.
And I have none. So we'll move on to next meeting date is scheduled for November 28th, as you just said, right after Thanksgiving. And if there's nothing else, meeting's adjourned, right?
Wonderful. Thank you so much.